Hey, what's up, citizens? President Awall here, bringing you some Star Wars Force Arena content. I'm enjoying this game. It's a PvP game. If you haven't already watched my overview video of this game, it combines Clash Royale with essentially Warcraft 3, my favorite game of all time, throws in the Star Wars IP. This video I'm going to be showing you Han Solo and Chewbacca, a iconic combo. From the Star Wars series, almost from any game, you're going to be able to get this combo in there. And Hero Han Solo I've got as level 2, so we ended up getting a legendary card from him, and long story short, he's a relatively low HP damage dealer who's really good at moving around the map. He's got sprint as his movement ability, I'll show you. Low HP, decent attack power, but he does have a 15% chance with Lucky Shot of dealing a critical amount of damage, which is basically double damage. And his skill is armed explosives. You drop this essentially proximity mine on the ground, and it deals 500% damage area of effect whenever that blows up, so that's really solid. And given that he's so flimsy, his unique, his companion, whatever you want to call it for this game, is Chewbacca. 5 cost, not that expensive, but a really decent tank at 1600 health. He can taunt, which means that all units in the area of Chewbacca when he taunts attacks him, pulling all of that aggro off of you as Han Solo, allowing you to just continually crit people, drop mines, and kind of control the battle from more of a general's sort of point of view. I'll talk about the rest of this deck here in a moment, but let's just take it straight into combat and just 1v1 people with this combo. It's pretty solid, it performs pretty well, and I'll see if I can pull off some W's here. I'm a little more than halfway up the ladder at this point. This is pre-release Star Wars Force Arena, so keep that in mind. These cards are going to be changing, the graphics are probably going to be changing, I'm sure the balance will change, and my skill is based on, you know, pre-release amounts of experience, so keep that in mind. But I'm just wanting to show off this hero for you because I'm sure that this is a hero that a lot of you guys are excited about. And this enemy hero that we're up against does do range damage and can snare, which is quite dangerous. So we want to make sure that we don't get snared and caught out. That's going to be very, very important. So I'm going to drop a light tank here, and then I'm going to drop a exploding garbage can in the other lane, and that should be interesting. Gotta stay away from that probe before it explodes. And they ended up dropping the inability, this canister ability, that's actually a card that does damage over time, and they ended up wiping me out, so it was more of a defensive and sort of reactive play here. So I need to drop a few units in the top lane to deal with this, and drop Chewie in the bottom lane, who's going to taunt, and who's going to take this out. I'm going to see if I can crit, I do, to take out the enemy leader, but they ended up doing a lot of damage to me. So I'm actually quite behind, an entire tower behind, actually. Going to drop my prox mine here in the middle of the lane and just continue to, and it looks like I've gotten snared, so I might have to suicide attack this tower. I do, defeating me in the process, but dealing a decent amount of damage to their tower. Top tower is now getting pressured, so this enemy is actually quite skilled, and it's fun to go up against somebody who's quite skilled. And looks like they're going to be dealing with that small mob I dropped in the top lane. So what I'm going to do here is just drop a prox mine right in the middle of this bridge, and it looks like these heavy gunners are going to run into it. And what I'll do is just drop a tank here on the back and drop a exploding garbage can into the top lane, and we'll see if the enemy leader is going to deal with it. Exploding garbage can probably will do a decent amount of damage, and it looks like they've got a rocket trooper here to try to deal extra damage. And I'll be dropping a prox mine, and I'm actually just going to suicide on this tower to take this out so I don't lose at the 1 minute mark. And didn't quite take down that tower, which is disappointing, but I'll be able to push some units up in that top lane to be able to make this work. I'm falling very behind in this game, so I've got quite a bit of catch-up work to do, and I can probably make it happen. And I'm getting snared non-stop. This is pretty gross how much I'm getting snared, but it's what you deal with when you're up against this enemy hero. And it looks like I'm going to tie things up at 2 towers. There it is, and this is really, really close. Going to drop that tank to try to push that lane while I try to defend against the majority of this. Dropping the regular Wookiee warrior down. He's a really nice tank character. He doesn't have taunt like your like your actual Chewbacca does, but he does have the ability to, you know, basically have a lot of health and stick around for a while, which is really, really solid. And I'm going to drop Exploding Garbage Can here in the top lane along with the tank, which is going to make it difficult for them to deal with. I need to deal with that Rocket Warrior there, and hopefully my Marauders will take him down. And going to quickly drop this. I don't have any more health here, so I'm going to see enemy leader defeated. That's perfect, and there it is. Enemy turret destroyed. My light tank in the bottom lane, along with Exploding Garbage Can, was able to snipe their base while I defended in the bottom. So as you can see, the kind of gameplay here with Han Solo is more kind of general level. Gonna give this opponent a thumbs up because he was very, very skilled. It's more like general level, and what I mean by that is you're sitting back, you're observing the lanes, you're doing counter picks in various lanes. You're doing that with all heroes, but even more so with Han. And, you know, by dropping a proximity mine, it's a much more passive type of ability, and so it's going to facilitate a much more kind of backline sort of gameplay with Han Solo. I need to show you a couple more gameplays. I'm going to do at least 2 more games for you guys to kind of show you what exactly I mean by that. Let's talk about a few more cards in this deck. So I'm very tank-oriented, very high HP oriented, since Han Solo is so vulnerable with only 900 health. So not only do I have the Chewbacca tank card, I have also got Wookiee Warrior card, 1000 HP, doesn't do that much damage, but it's a really high HP card, as you guys know. And Light Tank, very high HP, 6 cost is a little high, but 2000 health, as in addition to the high damage that Light Tank does, it's very, very good. And in order to throw the enemy off, I'm constantly dropping, as you guys saw last time, Unstable G&K Droid, aka Exploding Garbage Can, which has 1300 health, and this allows me to play that sort of general game I'm talking about, where you're kind of looking at your macro level game a bit more. We'll talk about the rest of the mob cards that I picked up for this deck here in a moment. Let's just get into another gameplay, because it's always best, just in my opinion, to just show the deck, and any deck in a game like this, in action, rather than just talk about the cards. Especially since this is a pre-release version of this game. You know, people just want to see how the damn hero plays and what it looks like, right? So that's what I'm trying to show you guys. Beautiful. So we've got some good early game options up against Emperor Palpatine. He can be pretty tough with Han Solo. You can't really get in Palpatine's face with this particular deck. So I'm going to drop Light Tank as well as Exploding Garbage Can in the top lane and see what happens. They've dropped Royal Guard here. I think they'll probably end up stopping my Exploding Garbage Can, which is fine. I need to go ahead and run, though, because Palpatine, in addition to those Royal Guards, causes some major issues. Hopefully, there we go, Chewie ends up taunting, as I wanted him to, and I'm going to drop my Twi'leks here right on top of Palpatine and see if they do some serious damage to him. And as you can see, those crits are very, very dangerous from Han Solo, and the problem in this situation is that I got very distracted in this lane, and Emperor Palpatine ended up doing a really good job of dropping that rocket in the bottom lane, which caused issues for me, and it ended up doing a significant amount of damage to my bottom tower. And he's going to be able to do all of that beautiful area of effect damage that Palpatine is known for and that he's designed for, and he'll end up taking down this bottom tower probably in a short amount of time. And Palpatine's going to end up using his area of effect here, probably, yeah, just used his ability, and that's fine. The probe is... Oh no, why did I drop those? Okay, that was a mistake. So just so you know, that black probe, which looks like the kind of like scouting probe, if you will, if you guys remember from Empire Strikes Back, that probe explodes upon death and can cause some major issues, basically. So what I'm going to do is drop the tank here in the bottom lane, and I'm going to roll in with this and make it look like I'm prioritizing this lane. But what I'm actually doing is sending Exploding Garbage Can in the top lane, and Palpatine is down. That's fine. Exploding Garbage Can, because he's down, they can't spawn anything. Exploding Garbage Can should explode on that top tower, taking it down. This forces me to use my Chewie here to taunt these enemy units, and this means that I'm now very pressured to basically destroy this bottom tower. So what I'm going to do is drop exploding garbage can down there, and I need to do a very good job of defending the top lane. So what I'm going to do is drop my ability down, this prox mine, to help defend if he ends up sending any kind of sniping units down, like the rocket launcher unit and what have you, that should be within range for that. I maybe could have dropped it up a little bit higher, but I think this top tower is down beautiful. So I now have a turret advantage. I'm calling them towers, but really they're turrets. And I now have a turret advantage, which is good, and that is the W. So there you go. As you saw, nowhere in that gameplay was I really getting in the game with Han Solo, was I getting hyper aggressive, except in when I'm consciously deciding to essentially suicide to take down an objective. That's basically what I was doing. I'll give him a thumbs up. He was a decent Palpatine. You can suicide to get an objective, to just get a couple more basic shots off as Han Solo, take down that turret, take down that leader, if it makes sense strategically. Otherwise, you're going to just constantly float between your lanes, drop your ability down on the ground, and play as a backlines hero. So let's go ahead and open this play pack. The most lucrative of all the packs. I think I've said that in a couple videos, but you get 6 different items here, which is really awesome. And it looks like I've got 2 that I can upgrade. So I have yet to go use the trading system in this game, and the reason being I don't want to waste any resources using the trading system in this game, because you have to pay gold to trade. So let me just show you what I mean really quick, and then we're going to get back to... Let me just move my camera out of the way. I think I've showed you this before, but let's say you got a unique card, and you don't want it. You already have that unique card, or you want to get a different, or you want to get a legendary that you want or whatever. You can do that. You can drop your unique card here, and I could right now if I wanted to drop my Chewie, or go ahead and drop my other character. I don't know what that character is, to be perfectly honest. And I would have to pay 9,600 gold to do this trade. I don't think it's worth it, especially when you're just getting started with this game, to make trades, because you're having to get rid of your precious resources that you have so little of. So let's talk about the rest of this deck. It's the mob portion. This is the standard mob I've been using. I use for my Luke deck as well. Link in the description below to the playlist if you want to check that out. But basically, I've got my Twi'lek Rebels, 1 cost, really decent damage on these units, very fast moving. There's 4 of them. They barely have any HP, but they do crap loads of damage because look at that attack speed. They attack once every 0.6 seconds, and that's really good for taking down things like AT-STs and rocket soldiers. Also have Marauders, similar type of unit, same advantages, but you need something in this deck to take down heavy armored units, and I don't have anything in my deck to counter that, so I've got these kind of cheaper mobs to get that done, and I've also got Rebel Troopers to kind of get that done. And so those 3 kind of 1, 2, and 2 cost mob units on the right are what I'm using to take down heavy armored units with this particular deck. Cool, let's play another one. Let's see if we can pick up another W. And at this point, we're more than halfway our way up Bronzium towards the next tier. And hopefully, well, definitely this season. And by the way, seasons last like 2 weeks. Definitely this season, I'm going to make it beyond Bronzium to the next level. And maybe I can make it to the level beyond that. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see what we're going to do here. Beautiful. So once again, I can get snared, and that's problematic because I'm so vulnerable with low HP. So this time I'm going to try to keep my distance a little bit more and be a little bit more conservative and let the enemy overextend. Last time I think I got a little bit too hyper aggressive, and I got myself in an early game position to get totally wrecked. And that's definitely not what I want to be doing. So I'm going to drop my Chewie here with a little bit of taunt action. It does taunt their leader, and that totally worked. So, okay, exploding garbage can and Chewie are headed to the top lane. I'm going to get a couple pot shots off here on this tower, a couple crits, and they're probably going to focus on exploding garbage can. I think I'm going to get an early game pick here on this tower. Exploding garbage can will blow up on that. What? Exploding garbage can didn't blow up on their turret? No, it looks like Exploding Garbage Can did not. I'm sorry, I got very distracted there by that. So, let's not play around here. I'm sending the tank in the top lane, and I'm going to start damaging this bottom tower. I thought Exploding Garbage Can blew up on it. Maybe I'm wrong. But I was expecting to see a big chunk of damage come out. That's why I was kind of distracted there for a moment. I'm still kind of learning the animations and the timing, so maybe I just missed it, I guess. So gonna drop Chewbacca here to kind of taunt all of these units, and gonna drop my Twi'leks next to that rocket, because that rocket will snipe my stuff and cause me major issues. So I'm 2 tower advantage right now, but I could totally blow it. Hopefully my mine explodes there. I think it did explode, but it didn't do quite the damage that I wanted it to, or it didn't explode in the way that I wanted it to, which is fine. And gonna send tank up the top lane, and they've ended up snaring my tank, but look at these crits, dude. Crit. And enemy leader is down. I'm gonna drop Exploding Garbage Can into their base, so they're forced to deal with it, and then I'm gonna deal with whatever this threat is here. It looks like it's a sniper threat in this lane. We're gonna drop a Chewie out front and some Marauders, and then I'm gonna pressure the other lane. This is something I do very regularly. I kind of put myself up front as like bait, basically. Oh look, it's a Han Solo. Oh, you totally want to kill the Han Solo, trust me. And meanwhile, the rest of my units are swinging around in the other lane from another direction or whatever, and it's a beautiful thing. So they're going to be trying to take that lane down. Going to drop my Chewie down to basically taunt everything and to control all of that mob. And now I've got tons of units coming up this top lane. I'm going to drop mob here, and I'm calling it mob, but I'm going to drop my soldiers there, and hopefully Exploding Garbage Can can actually get to that turret. Not sure if it's going to be able to, but regardless, it doesn't matter, it appears, because he has been unable to take down any of our turrets, and we have just been kind of controlling these battles non-stop as Han. And there it is. There's our 3rd W in a row, so that went pretty well. I didn't cherry pick this, just so you know, all of the gameplay videos I've released on the channel, I've just recorded, and whatever happened with the matches, the first time I went to record it, that's what I'm showing you. It shows you what these decks really can do on the ladder right now, at least in pre-release. So there you go, up to 1500. Once I get up to, 1900, I'll be at Chromium, and definitely going to reach Chromium this season. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks I can reach Orodium, I think is how you pronounce it. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. I'll throw up on the screen right now a clickable button for you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll also throw up a link to some more of my, or a little square there for some more of my Star Wars Force Arena content. Check it out. I'm going to be showing off all the various heroes that I pick up along the way, and hopefully I'll have some more here soon to show you, and link below if you haven't already pre-registered for this game. It's an international release, but in North America it's not out yet, so there you go. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.